Okay, so 773 says, assume that the radius of a circle is 1 unit. So maybe you need to draw yourself a circle just so that you can see it. You know, it's up to you. I'm going to draw one over here. Oops, that's not a circle. Let's try that again. All right, so we have a circle, and we're going to assume that our radius is 1 foot. So this is 1. What's the area of the circle? Well, we know the area is found by doing pi times r squared. So the area of this circle would be pi times 1 squared times pi, which is just pi. Okay, so we have pi units squared would be the area of that circle. Circumference then. Circumference is 2 times pi times r, which in this case would be 2 times 1 times pi, which is 2 pi. Now it says, how many radii would it take to wrap completely around the circle? Now we talked about this in the creation of making the radii, and I hope that you were able to see that it ended up being just a little bit more than 6. And maybe some of you came up with, hey, it looks like, 6 1/4, which is really close to 6.28, which we know as 2 pi, which makes sense if we think about the circumference. That's what we were measuring, was the circumference of that circle. So then we're asked, do you think the size will matter? And it's not going to matter, because the radius and your circumference are both linear measures. And because all circles are similar, if we change one of those, because they're both linear, the similarity factor, that factor that they're increasing by, is going to be the same on both. So it goes back to your similarity of triangles. So even if our radius was 10 or 100 or 37, it's still going to take us 2 pi radians to wrap around the outside of the circle. So then how many radians are there in 360 degrees? Well, that should kind of be obvious, hopefully, because one rotation around the circle is 360, and one rotation in radians around the circle is 2 pi. So it'll take 2 pi radians to go all the way around the circle. Now we can think about, what about 90 degrees? If you have 90 degrees, how many radians would that be? Well, it's going to be 1/4 of a total rotation, right? Because 360 degrees is 1/4 of a total rotation. So you could say 1/4 of 2 pi, which ends up just being pi over 2 radians.